As you get into the custom keyboarding hobby, one thing you'll realize quickly is the drastic highs and lows in price points. A critical component that also follows this trend is keycaps. The keycaps are pretty much the most visible part of the keyboard by surface area, and it comes in so many different colors, profiles, layouts, and also materials. What makes one keycap set cost 10 times more than another similar keycap set? We will be honing in one specific type of material and profile and determine, does more money equal more better? Let me know in the comments if you like this kind of comparison videos, and I could either plan more of them or stop doing them altogether. So let's get started. Today we're going to be focusing on PBT keycaps, specifically Cherry Profile Dye-Sub PBT keycaps. I know there are more out there than PBT, but most of the time when someone is looking at caps, they're either looking at ABS or PBT. I feel that ABS is actually much easier to recognize the difference between a high end and a low end, so we will save that for another day. When it comes down to PBT keycaps, specifically Dye-Sub ones, they vary wildly in prices. For this video, we'll be looking at 4 different levels of PBT keycaps and try to determine what is the major difference. We'll be looking at thickness, shape and finish, typing sound, and legends. For our comparisons, the keyboard we'll be using today is the AR87 by APCO. This is a nice and neutral TKL with no special PE foam mount or anything like that, and fitted with a friendly Gateron yellow switch. And as a plus, it comes with its own set of Cherry Profile PBT Dye-Sub keycaps to compare against. The first set we'll be comparing against the stock one is the HK Gaming set, which retails for around $40 and is available every day and 3 times on Sunday on Amazon. This represents the low-end upgrade. The next up is the PBT Lord set by Milky Way Caps, which is a newer manufacturer to the scene and offers more premium caps through group buy style transactions, but at a lower cost and faster turnaround versus some of the larger manufacturers. The cost of this set was around $70 through a short group buy. Finally, at the top end, it's the Cool Kit set by ePBT, which is one of the more popular premium PBT keycap manufacturers that offers very diverse colorways through the usual get on a group buy and wait for a long time approach to keycaps. The price of this set was around $120 with the base and some fun modifiers. So essentially, we jump almost 2 times in price at every level. I know there are a lot more brands and offerings out there besides these 3, but for the sake of argument and time, we will cap it right here. No pun intended. Speaking of more offerings, I want to do a quick shout out to my guy Tim and his site Shopmech.com real quick. We had a chance to connect a while back as Shopmech launched, and which is a site that provides a central platform to show you all mechanical keyboard related products out there on the internet. What sites like Shopmech does is pretty much pull all the info from various different keyboard vendor sites and shows you on one location what is new and available. It's a great way to see new keyboard switches, accessories, and also keycaps. And what's really new with Shopmech is that now it offers a keyboard builder, which is essentially a parts picker to build your own keyboard, which parts and kits are available for purchase right now. It's really helpful because it lists the same components from various different vendors, so you can actually cross-shop and check prices and whatnot. After picking your parts, you could also save the build and also share that with others as well. So check it out to support another keyboard dude. Let's start this comparo with the most objective metric, the thickness of the caps. Many times the quality or worth of the cap is determined by how beefy and thick it is, so I'll be using some vernier calipers to measure the wall thickness. What's interesting is that most of these Dye-Sub caps, regardless of the price, is pretty thick. Out of these 4, even the free keycaps that came with AR87, as well as the HK Gaming set, comes in at around 1.3 millimeters. That's actually pretty thick. Then as expected, as you go up in price, so does the thickness it seems. The PBT Lord set from Milky Way comes in around 1.4 millimeters, and finally, the venerable ePBT set comes in at around 1.5. So in this case, you get what you pay for is pretty true. The more expensive it is, the thicker it is. So now as the keycaps change in thickness, how does that impact the sound? Let's check it out. We'll do a full-on typing test comparison at the end, so in case you're curious, Next up is the keycap shape and finishing quality. Overall, I noticed that the one new keycap shape is pretty consistent to each other and also between the different caps. The finishing is fairly decent across all four, with the exception of ePBT having injection marks on the side wall of the keycap versus from the bottom. I wonder if there's an advantage to this because I also noticed that GM Keycaps does this as well and they're both considered premium. However, expect this mark to be more visible. Where the shape and mold quality becomes very important is in the longer keycaps, especially the spacebar. Bent spacebars cause major headaches with improper function and noise, so this is an important area. Take a look. Overall, the stock caps that came with the AR87 is decent. Slight bit of upward bend, but it didn't impact the overall operation at all. As you move on, I don't see anything but straight spacebars from HK Gaming, the Milky Way, as well as the ePBT set. I know ePBT had some issues with warped spacebars in the past, but this is one of the newer molds, and from what I know, it's been improved as evident here. So pretty much all four of these are pretty good here. So far, if they're all pretty similar, what's the point of spending more money? I think this is where the separation starts to happen. The legend, crispness, and clarity. The lower end 2 keycap set, the stock AR87 ones, and the HK gaming sets have visible fuzziness in their legends. It's pretty evident when you look at the edges of the alphas. However, as you go to the Milky Way and the ePBT sets, the legends are much cleaner. The biggest surprise here is actually the Milky Way set because despite it being cheaper than the ePBT, it has the most crisp and consistent Dye-Sub quality. Even with these delicate Asian characters, the Milky Way set gets it down really good. Even on the reverse Dye-Sub caps, it's equally impressive. So after taking a look at these metrics, what is my thought? You know, as somewhat expected, it comes down to what is important to you. If you just want a durable, thick, and thocky PBT set, it can be had at even the lower prices. If you're starting out in this keyboarding hobby, you might just want to stick with your stock set or look at something sub $50 sets on Amazon and some of the other vendors. But as you start to grow into the hobby and if you expect finer details and legend quality becomes a concern to you, that is where the higher end sets will deliver. Finally, this is a very subjective metric, but if you're looking for specific colors, limited runs, or creativity through originality, a brand like ePBT that does engage with designers and do special runs may be what you're looking for. I feel like this is the one area where I noticed, especially on the HK gaming set, the colors are kind of all over the place and it's fairly ugly. Like especially look at the two different gray tones, they're supposed to be different, but they kind of look very similar, so not the very best experience here. As promised, here are the full typing test sounds. So what is your thought? Honestly, in my opinion, a lot of the Dye-Sub caps, especially with a decent thickness like these, they all sound pretty good. So I think from a sound department, if you're looking for just that thocky PBT sound, most of them will deliver to you regardless of the price point. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to support the channel. Let me know if you like or dislike comparable videos like this, and it'll help me with the content planning in the future. As always, thank you for watching and thank you for all your support.